Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matthew Clutterman. I have the great pleasure of joining me today, David Evans, who will be fighting for Shamrock FC 318 on May 10th. David, thank you so much for joining me today.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Well, this is going to be a little bit new, so I'm going to start off with my own YouTube channel. This is going to be my name again, Matthew Clutterman. So I'm going to be producing content weekly with some of the top best fighters in the world. Especially, David will be making his professional debut on May 10th. So, of course, I'll be getting a lot of good interviews over the next few weeks here. But, of course, David, let's start off. How excited are you for your professional debut?
Man, I'm very excited. It's been a long time coming. You know, I've been fighting on the amateur circuit for a few years now. Had some success there, a couple of world medals there. And now I'm ready for it to transition over, you know, into the pro ranks and just kind of really show the world on another level what I'm capable of doing. So.
Well, what is it like fighting for an organization like Shamrock FC that it's somewhat well known, but would you have liked to get into a bigger organization right away for your professional debut, or is it cool that you are with Shamrock FC?
No, man, I'm definitely cool with Shamrock FC. It's actually kind of full circle for me because I really got my start there. My first few amateur fights were with Shamrock FC, and then I went on to fight for IMAF and do the international kind of thing, and then now it's kind of coming full circle, and now I'm coming back with Shamrock FC. You know, the thing for my career is like I never really wanted to rush. I think Shamrock FC is a good place for me to kind of get my bearings in because, you know, despite what people may think, there's a definite transition from amateur fighting to professional fighting. They're almost two different beasts. So I would definitely love to kind of cultivate my skills in Shamrock FC and spend time here at Roufusport, you know, to develop and kind of find myself as a fighter. And even these last few weeks, I've made leaps and bounds just kind of being in this culture. And I think Shamrock FC would give me that best chance to do so.
Definitely. Well, of course, you brought me into my next question. Out of all camps, why did you choose to come to Wisconsin and train at Roufusport?
I actually came down here for the first time, I believe, in 2016 with Tyron. Woodley. He's a mentor of mine. And during one of his training camps, he allowed me to come through and kind of follow and shadow him. And I just kind of fell in love with this place, man, because of the culture here. Me coming from a wrestling background, I was a very high-level wrestler in high school, you know, left a lot on the table in college, didn't finish my college career.
Yeah.
But just coming from kind of that thread of like being in high-level wrestling rooms, I think Roufusport was like the closest thing to that, possibly even surpassed that because of the dynamics of striking and mixing the BJJ and, you know, all the styles of MMA together. And so that just, I knew the second I stepped foot in here that this is where I needed to be the best fighter that I wanted to be. So.
Definitely. I mean, you train with some of the best fighters in the world, especially at your weight class, like Sergio Robles, Emmanuel Sanchez that fights for Bellator as well too. What does it mean training with those guys on a day-to-day basis, and is that evolving your game?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Some of my best days here, I haven't won a round. You know, I walk out of a session and I'm learning and I'm not winning every round, but like I leave feeling like I know I got better than it. You know, even during the mid sessions, like we're all kind of doing our thing, and then like I'm looking around and I get tired, and we just see everybody else working and grinding, and you're like, yo, like that's just motivation right there enough because these guys work so hard, and they do this 365 days a year. Like, it's kind of a place like if you're here, like you have no excuse to not succeed. You know, that's how I see it.
Definitely. You know, we got a lot of coaches here as well. Of course, we got the Master Duke Rufus, Scott Cushman, Joe Nichols. What is your opinion on those coaches in MMA?
Man, I think they're the best to do it as far as mixing everything together. Really, I never really had a MMA coach until I like came to this environment. You know, I kind of these last few years I've been kind of taking things from certain people, but like kind of really been doing it on my own. And just being here and like they're showing me different ways to kind of move more efficiently and kind of take my skills that I've kind of acquired and like just blend everything together, man. And just the way they do it, the philosophy they have when they teach, it's just incredible. It's second to none. You know, all of these coaches here, like I was telling my friend the other day, it's like I've learned more here from just like listening in on conversations than I have like going to seminars, you know.
Exactly.
And to being surrounded by that culture like on the daily is just, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And these coaches, I think, going forward in the future, I think we can do some big things together. And I definitely look to kind of be a part of their program, a part of their team, and you know, fit in and help and give back to them the way they give to me, you know, with their knowledge.
That's for sure. Well, the name Tyron Woodley, what does he mean to you? And is he a mentor of yours?
Yeah. He's a very close mentor. You know, pretty much if anybody asks, just be like, yeah, that's my brother. You know, just to keep it simple.
Of course.
I've known him for a long time. You know, I managed his gym back in St. Louis. You know, he trusts me to do that. He's given me plenty of opportunities to kind of succeed. So he's definitely someone that's very close to me. And yeah, a big brother kind of status. I don't get that to everybody, but yeah, I'll definitely give that to him for sure.
That's awesome. Well, if you don't mind, what was your assessment on his fight with Kamaru Usman? I know it was a tough fight for Tyron, of course. Expecting Kamaru Usman to come out that fast out the gate and to be able to control the fight the way he did. What is your opinion on that fight, and do you think Tyron would come back to a championship level again?
Yeah, I think he just had a setback. You know, at the end of the day, UFC champion or not, he's human. I mean, yeah, as a champion, you can't really afford to have those off days. But he's still a champion with or without the title. I definitely think he'll come back and dominate for years to come, or you know, until he decides to hang it up for sure.
Definitely. Well, I was following a little bit of your amateur career as well too, and this is a question I always wanted to know from fighters. So you obviously won a bunch as an amateur as well too, and you do have a few losses as an amateur as well. What motivates you more, coming off of a loss or off of a win? I always wanted to know that from a fighter's perspective on that, because it's one of those questions I always thought.
I'm glad you asked that question, man. Losses for sure, man. I had, as an amateur, probably one of the most devastating losses ever, man. I got knocked out by a spinning back kick, you know. Get someone that 9 times out of 10 I would beat that person, but guess what? I have one of those off nights, you know, and I got caught. But I'll tell you what, man, stepping into the cage like the fight after that, I had never felt more comfortable than after that. I've never felt more great in the cage before. I know people, there's that whole cliche of like, oh, once you take a loss and you have nothing to lose. It's not that I feel like I have nothing to lose, but it just kind of changed my perspective of just fighting in general, you know. And I still feel like I have something to lose, and that kind of gives me that edge to stay motivated and everything like that. But just after that loss, the second I stepped out of the cage, like I was just kind of focusing on what went wrong and what I could have done better. And then stepping into the cage after that, I felt as free as I've ever been. And then that fight was like a 30-second knockout.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
That's how it goes, man. That's the name of the game. Everything's so teeter-tottery, you know. So
there's so many ways to win. There's so many ways to lose, you know.
Exactly. And I definitely, you know, I got here. It's been a long road, but I've had some tough losses, and I don't shy away from them, you know. Before I come into the gym, before I look at my wins, I'm looking at my losses, because I'm trying to figure out what I can do to change those. I was just today looking at my loss at the World Championships from the world champion last year from Bulgaria, figure out what I did wrong, and guess what? He beat me, and I'm a wrestler. He out-wrestled me. So I come in here on Friday on a wrestling day, and I work on the things that he beat me in, and I had a good, successful training day. So that's just kind of the name of the game.
Yeah, that's insane. But from like a media's perspective, why should we believe that you'll be the next big thing in MMA?
Man, just perseverance, man. I'm tried, I'm tested, I'm proven. I believe in myself, so if I don't believe in myself, you guys shouldn't believe in me. I believe I can be there. I've kind of tried, I've tested, I've proven myself. And I've done it with less than a lot of people have, you know. I've made a habit out of making more out of less. And now, like, through networking, through Tyron, through Duke Rufus, I'm kind of getting all these resources that can take me to the next level. And you better believe I'm taking advantage of them. So if you don't believe me now, you know, you better get on the bandwagon soon, because I definitely plan on closing the gap and just being in this culture, in this environment. I won't have no choice. I better think about another career option.
Of course.
You know, so.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, I thank you again for joining me today, man. I'm excited for your debut on May 10th with Shamrock FC. Make sure you guys tune in to check that out. Of course, if you want to shout out any sponsors as well too, go ahead and do that as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I definitely like to give a shout out to my sponsors back home in St. Louis, Miley Restaurant, Nudo House, Jam Factory, Output Performance Facility, J-Core Fitness. They've all been kind of helping me to get here and applying me with other resources outside of here to train to the best of my ability. So I definitely want to, you know, say I appreciate them for sure. So,
definitely. Well, thanks again, Dave, and I really do appreciate it. And of course, again, tune in May 10th, Shamrock FC 318. Tune in. He'll be fighting Sergio Robles. tune in. And again, this is Matthew Putterman, again, signing out. Make sure you keep checking back at my YouTube page. This will be my first one that goes up. Again, I'll be posting a lot of videos about every week with top professional fighters, up and coming fighters. And make sure you tune in. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Stay blessed.